What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Well, Solana's price just failed the breakout that we were hoping that it would make over the last few days, and so of course I want to give you an update on what exactly is going on and, well, what we can expect coming forward. And so with that said, let's not waste any more time at all, my friends, and let's get straight into the video. Well, what you can see here is that Solana actually tried to make a beautiful move to the top side of this wedge in which we've been tracking for a very long time. It made the move, and it did really start to seem as if it was going to backtest and hold some support here, but this market did start to give us some liquidations to the downside, dragging Solana back down with it. Solana has been kind of just following Bitcoin quite recently, and so of course I've been doing a ton of Bitcoin technical analysis because realistically the entire market's following Bitcoin, and individual analysis is not working as well right now as a result of it. But it is important to pay attention to exactly what's happening because we are in a moment right now in which Solana does seem as if it could be trying to find some support and go for that move again. Now, before we do get into what I'm expecting next, I actually want to explain to you a little bit about what happened and why we saw not only just Solana but the entire crypto market pull back. And in order to do so, I'm actually going to play you a quick 10-20 second video from my second channel, which went over my expectations for a pullback a few days ago. This was about 3 days ago before the pullback did happen, and it explains to you exactly why I thought this pullback was coming for the market and why we did get it. And so with that said, let me go ahead and play this for you really quickly, and then we'll continue on with the video. Let me do this. There we go. All right, here we go. The biggest indicator of that is the 7-day. On the weeklies, there are a substantially higher amount of liquidations that will happen if this market moves to the downside than to the upside. And when I see stuff like this, I definitely pay attention to it because you look at it, right? $57,000 brings tons of liquidations. If we hit back to 57K, all of these liquidations will happen. And if we do just quite simply look at Bitcoin's price, that's not all that unrealistic to say, right? Bitcoin doing something like, say, this in a moment like this, the fact that this little bitty move could liquidate that many people, yeah, I definitely feel like it's a possibility. It's something that... Okay, so as you can see in that video, basically what I was saying was, look, there are a ton of liquidations that are going to happen in this market right now if Bitcoin moves back towards $57,000, $58,000. And so as a result of that, I was getting super nervous a few days ago. Like, I think a pullback might be on the way. We just need to brace and sit back and watch what happens. And then, of course, we saw Bitcoin fall 8 to 10%, dragging the majority of the market down with it. Guys, don't forget, you can check out that second channel down below. Every single day, I give fundamental analysis of the market and what I think is going to happen. Not so much TA, more fundamental analysis. So feel free to check it out. But that's the reason why, of course, we did see this market really take a beating and, of course, bring Solana down with it. Now, the big question here is, well, what can we expect to come next? That's the big question. And what I'm looking at, currently speaking, is something pretty simple, okay? We finally have a range. We finally have a clear, concise range for Solana, and that always makes life easy because I know what to do. I know what to do in this range. Let me tell you what I'm going to do, okay? If Solana's price, currently, where Solana's price is right now, I am actually doing a little bit of accumulating. Just buying a little bit. You guys know I don't do a lot of buying right now. Guys, we bought Solana here at $12, $13 on the channel. So we're not doing a ton of buying at $150, but I still do think a $400, $500 Solana is possible. And so because of that, I do a little buying still. But I did a little bit of buying right here, quite simply because we are sitting on a macro point of liquidity. Look at all this liquidity. Look at all this liquidity, liquidity, liquidity. Look at all that. It's beautiful, right? And what that means is that Solana's price could try to use this liquidity and continue upwards. We built some support right here to return back to this previous point of resistance. There's no reason we can't do this again and create a little range. It's possible, okay? So because of that, knowing it's possible, I just bought a little bit here. If Solana continues lower, I will be doing a little bit more buying, around $137. And if both of those levels are lost, there's a very strong chance Solana revisits the bottom side of this wedge, currently around $125, where I will be doing more buying as well. So because of that, again, currently buying a little bit around 145, we'll buy a little bit more around 137, by a little bit more around $127. I have plans of accumulating at all three of those levels because I do think that's a great time to buy. Now, we'll be actually doing some purchasing over on Marject, so feel free to check out the link down below. You don't need a KYC, nor do you need a VPN. Anyone in the world can use it, and you're going to get up to $10,000 in bonuses with that link down below. But that's my game plan for purchasing. Buy here, key levels of liquidity, key levels of support. And I still do have macro conviction that Solana is going to make a breakout of this zone again. I think there's a very strong chance at some given point this year that Solana's price does revisit back up towards these $190 to $200 levels. So clearly buying at macro levels of support has worked out well recently, and I think it's going to work out well again. Now, if Solana's price does continue to make this move above the white line, right? If we finally get another breakout of the white line, I'm taking the same exact approach that I keep taking every single time. If we get above the white line, I'm going to do a tiny little purchase right here just because we broke resistance. But I'm going to save my macro purchase, my bigger purchase, for when we are finally capable of clearing $163. And then the next big one once we're finally capable of clearing $190 as we were here. Basically, the game plan here is to buy every time we break a macro level of resistance, or buy every time that we hit a tiny level of support. And so, of course, that's what I'm going to be doing here. So it's real simple and real easy. And that's why I told you, when we have ranges, it makes life so easy because we know exactly what to do. We know the important levels. We know the things to be on the lookout for, and that's what I'm doing here. And so, of course, with that said, what we're seeing from Solana right now is definitely interesting, but not that scary whatsoever. And so, of course, I will continue to update you about it as it does play out and what we are expecting. Don't forget, you can check out even more content from me down on my second channel, which is the first link in the description if you are interested in something like that. And with that in mind, guys, I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.